Welcome back, Grade 6, to Nelson Math, Chapter 2, Section 6, Reading and Writing Decimal Thousandths. For this particular section, we're going to be using thousandths grids, and they look like this. I have two different but extremely similar thousands, and thousandths grid that we might want to use. If you were to count all of these, if you were so inclined, there are 1,000 of these little rectangles in this big square. However, I can save you the trouble and I can say that this square is 20 rectangles high, 50 rectangles wide, and that means there are 1,000 rectangles in all of this. So we can use this as counting for thousands, 1000, or thousandths, 0.001. I'm going to be using this one, however, primarily because we can show two different things here. This is a 10 by 10 grid. If you can tell by the bold dark lines, there are 10 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and 10 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So if all I did was look at the dark lines, I could call it a 10 by 10. However, I can also call it a 1,000 grid or a 1,000th grid because of the following. I know I have 100 of these larger squares. If it's a 10 by 10 grid, I know I must have 100 of these larger squares. However, if you count inside each of these squares, there are 10 smaller divisions known as rectangles. So I have 10 here and 10 here and 10 here, and all the way down. That means I have 1,000 of the little squares, just like I do in this one over here. But this one's subdivided just a little bit differently. That means we can show different things on this and count them very, very quickly. For example, if I shaded in this entire column right here, this whole column, I could call it 1/10 because I'm taking one whole column of the 10 columns in existence. I could also call it, instead of just 1/10, I can call it 10/100ths because I'm shading in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of a total of 100 squares. And even further, I can call it 100/1000ths because I'd be shading in 100 little rectangles out of a total of 1,000 little rectangles. And it's very easy to see because it's been subdivided this way. Continuing on, I'm going to show how to write these numbers either with the thousandths grid you've just seen or on this place value chart right here. So let's read number 4. In words, 0.34 can be written as 34 hundredths. Write each decimal in words. So here we can look at 0.120. This is like saying 0 ones, 1/10, 2 hundredths, 0 thousandths. So I've written it on my place value chart right here. 0.120, and this can be called 120 thousandths. So here would be my 120, but 120 of what? It would be thousandths, 120 of those. So if I went back to here, I could shade in 120 of these small pieces here. But to get 120 of these small pieces, I would need 12 of these squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It would be this part right there that I'm outlining with the mouse, with the cursor. That's what it would end up being. Now let's go back to the next one. 0.007. So 0.007. That's written as 7 thousandths. So 7 pieces out of a total of 1,000 pieces. So using either of the two grids, let's use this one this time. I could use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would just be this little sliver right here. 7 of these rectangles out of a total of 1,000 rectangles. So very, very few of them. Just this little sliver right here. And lastly, 305 thousandths. So I have here my 0 decimal, 305. 305 thousandths. So if I went back here, I would need 305 of these small little rectangles. But I know that every one of these rows has 100, so that's 100, that's 200, that's 300, 301, 302, 303, 304, 305. So it would be 3 full rows plus 5 of these little rectangles here. And that's written right here, 305 thousandths. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.